Hello, everyone. Everyone who attends today, thank you for coming. My name is Reed Hortie. I'm with Remax Crest Realty, West Side. And I am about to host a little open house here. And it's going to be a little bit different than the open house I had here last week because I don't need to tour the place any longer because that video is still on my Facebook page, Reed Hortie Real Estate. And you must have found that page or you wouldn't be here. So it'll be less about touring. I might give it the once over at the end of this session, but today it's more going to be about talking about co-ops in general because there is a lot of misconceptions about what an equity co-op is. My seller actually told me that there is, hi Carrie, nice to see you. My seller told me that when she mentions that she's in a co-op, she sometimes has people thinking that she's in subsidized housing because there are other types of cooperatives where there is subsidy within them. This is not that. In fact, the true, hello Elise, the true meaning of co-op in this context is company operated, co-op. So it's a little different than cooperative. Company operated means that before there was strata, before there was even the Condominium Act, people were looking for ways that they could own a home and not just a detached house, but how could they own an apartment? And one of the ways that they came up with was company-operated buildings. And the way that they work is, a company is formed. People buy shares in it. The company then builds a building. And the people who have bundles of shares have a permanent prepaid lease, a permanent prepaid lease on one of the units in the building. And everyone who lives in the building are shareholders in the company, and they own the company, and they run the company. Much like the way a strata is run by a strata council, they have a strata council of sorts in a co-op as well. It's a council, and they have a president, and they have a treasurer, and they do all of the things that a strata council does, but they don't pay for strata management. That's one of the many savings that are available to you if you purchase in a co-op. So who purchases in a co-op? Well, first of all, it's people who have a fair amount of liquid assets because you need 35% down payment to purchase in a co-op. And why is that? Why can you buy a strata for 5% down but you need 35% down to buy in a company-operated building? Well, it's because the banks don't like company-operated buildings. Why? Because they see risk. Because if they gave a mortgage to someone and it was for the purchase of shares in a company, and they eventually had to repossess those shares, they would have shares in a company and they might not have shares in a well-run company. Their way of thinking is, well, we're taking a risk because what if this company is run into the ground by the people who are running it? And we have now repossessed shares in a company that's not worth very much. Or that in a worst case scenario, the company owes more than the land and the building are worth. Now, this co-op has been in business since 1948. It has not gone bankrupt. It has not accumulated debt. And frankly, I've worked in a lot of co-ops and I haven't seen one yet that has. But banks don't care about reality. They care about worst case scenarios. So they've said, okay, we'll give you a mortgage to purchase in a co-op, to purchase shares in a company. We will give you that mortgage, but because of this perceived extra risk we're undertaking, we want you to have more skin in the game. We want to risk less of our own money. So we'll give you a mortgage if you have 35% down. Hey there, LaJoy. So I'm happy to see people are joining the open house. Just so that you know, I've been sort of giving everyone a little primer on what a co-op is. It's a company-operated building that requires 35% down. So how else is a company-operated building different from a strata? Well, there are significant differences. For example, in a strata, you have to abide by human rights laws. You cannot restrict the age of who can live in your strata. But in a company-operated building, you can. You can say, as in the case of this building, you have to be 21 years old or older to live in this building. And that is a rule in this building. So it is, that's one of the things that cuts down how many people are prospective buyers. You've already heard about the biggest one, 35% down. Immediately cuts out a huge swath of the population. Then you have age restrictions, cuts out another huge swath of the population. There are other things that keep the buying pool down in co-ops. One of them is stigma. People don't understand what a co-op is. Anyways, the upshot of all of that is when potential buyer pool shrinks, so does the price of the property. And so this property is currently listed for $795,000. The same unit in a strata would be $1 million. So now you know the people who are going to buy in here have a lot of cash. They don't have children. They understand savings because there's all kinds of savings here. You have less maintenance fee than a comparable strata. You pay less tax. You pay no property transfer tax. There's no rentals, so you don't pay empty homes tax. And there is no foreign buyers tax. So there's a lot of savings. One of the big ones is, for this particular building, there's no underground parking. They have 6 garages along one side of the building. Remember, it was built in 1948. Not everybody had a car. So they have 6 garages along the side of the building, which are at ground level. What's the difference? Well, I'll tell you a little story. Tomorrow, I am going on a buyer's tour, and one of the properties we're going to look at is a townhouse complex. And I asked the listing agent, geez, it's been on the market for a while, and she said, yes. The buyers have been scared off because they have been told, the owners have been told, that there's going to be a underground parking membrane replacement, which will run into the millions of dollars. And that will mean that every townhouse will have tens of thousands of dollars of special levy to pay. You don't have that here. There's also no elevator here. Now you might think, oh, would I have to walk up the stairs with my groceries? Yes, you will. But that's going to keep you healthy. And beyond which, they'll never come knocking at your door saying, oh, elevator needs replacement, or elevator needs major repairs, and your share is $15,000. So there are savings in that regard as well. So I've already told you who's not buying in here. So let me tell you about who is. When you buy into a co-op, you're generally buying into a building where you meet professionals, doctors, professors, lots of different people who work in the arts. I know in this building we have a screenwriter, we have a couple of business professionals. It's a nice community that you're buying into. And it is a community in much more than most stratas, in that everybody eventually gets to know one another. It is run by the people who live here. So if you want, you can become part of the council and help to make decisions about the building going forward. And I've never met a co-op owner I didn't like, but maybe that's just me. But in any case, it is going to be professional people for the most part. And I was trying to find a way to say that it doesn't sound elitist, but it's a simple fact. The people that you meet here are people who manage to amass a certain amount of money and are smart. It's where the smart money is going. Is the best deal in Vancouver real estate at the moment is co-op. So there are high bars to get in, but if you can clear those bars, it's like anything else. If you can buy something, if you have a lot of money, you can usually get things cheaper than if you don't. So I'm just wondering if anyone out there has any questions before I continue. This was one of the things I learned doing this open house last week. I learned a few things. One, that the screen is very difficult for me to read comments on, although I see there are none right now. And the other is that certain camera angles just don't work with my face. But if you have any questions, now would be the time to ask them. I'm trying to think what else I want you to know about company-operated buildings. The taxes are low, the maintenance fees are low. This building in particular is built. Oh, someone's saying, that is informative. Yeah, well, I'm trying to make it lighten it up a little bit. This building has a 2-year-old roof. Now you might think, oh geez, that's an awfully old building, 1948. How's it holding up? Well, this building is like a rock. I have done 7 deals in this building, and so I've been on 7 property inspections. And the inspectors are always blown away by the size of the timbers that were used, by the thickness of the concrete that was used in the foundation. They recently, 2 years ago, they replaced the roof. And it was a surprise to everyone that the roofer said, oh, this is a very special roof you have. It was built in 2 layers. So the joists for the ceiling of the units is separate from the joists of the actual roof. He said that's the reason there's no rot. Well, it's a good thing to know that in all of those years, the building has not suffered any rot and that the construction was as robust as it is. Hang on. Still just Elise making fun of me. I tried to sign in on my iPad so that I could read the questions there, but unfortunately the iPad knows that it's Read Hortie Realtor, so it keeps wanting me to go live on it. So let me ask you one more time. And do you have any questions about what it is to buy into a co-op, what a company-operated building is like? The one thing you should know is that once you live here, aside from the fact that it's more of a community than you usually find in a strata, there's very little difference. It's the same thing. You pay property taxes lower than you would in a regular strata every year, and you might want to become involved, but there's no obligation. Some people help with the gardening, and I'm sure that helps keep the expenses down. Oh, I should mention, this building owns a unit within itself. So they rent it out, and that is a constant source of income for the building's contingency and replacement reserve funds. So they rent out their one unit. I think at one time it was a caretaker unit, and now it's just rented out. This building was actually built for the hoi polloi. Downstairs, they still have a door that says tradesman's entrance on it, and there's a tradesman's staircase as well. So it was built by, for, and about the wealthy in 1948, and it has held up so well. I'm always proud to show it, and maybe I'll show it to you now. I'm going to switch the camera to the other side so that you'll be able to see. Okay, I was hoping to show you the view today. I tried showing it last time. You can actually see between that red house and the building next door. It's difficult to tell right now, but you see the mountains there, and you see the mountains there. And the mountains that you see in this sliver view, you can actually see the ski area on Grouse Mountain. So backing up, this is a little home office that's built in. It has a live edge desk, and it has built-in shelving. Next to that is the pantry, and next to that is the built-in microwave and the built-in oven. Seller into this when he was a buyer, and this was completely unrenovated. It was, the kitchen was a tiny, tiny little box here, and he blew it wide open. That is, incidentally, a induction range, so it does not get hot to the touch. The only thing that gets hot is the food in the pots. And dishwasher, beautiful double sink, lovely quartz countertops. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention last week that I wanted to point out is these floors. This is called acai, blonde acai, and they are beautiful. I also, I showed the fireplace last week, but I did not show the remote. So it's a simple matter of pushing the button, it's off, push it, it's on. You can then change it to put on a fan and a heater, or just run the visuals. Last week, if you look at last week's video, you'll be able to see the blinds in action. I took the time to show how they work. They're beautiful, and they virtually disappear with magnets when you close them. The dining area. Of course, the barn door that closes off what used to be a bedroom and is now a den/bedroom. That's a fold-out couch. And if you were wanting a 2-bedroom apartment, all you have to do is close the barn door and put an armoire in the room. It's still 11 by 9. So it's as big as many current condominium bedrooms. I also spoke last week a little bit about how much I love where the second bathroom is. Now, finding co-op buildings with a second full bathroom is very rare, but he added, my seller added a second full bath, and this is it. And it's the guest and powder room, and I just love where it's located. Usually in stratas, when you find 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, the bathroom is uncomfortably close to the dining area. This one is nicely tucked away. Also, last week, I don't think I went into very much detail about the laundry. Now, this building has a laundry room, and it's free. You can use it for free. But they also have in-suite laundry here. And I thought it was worth mentioning that it's top quality appliances, both a washer and dryer. And of course, one of my favorite features is this barn door, which opens into the exquisite ensuite. Just a beautiful reno he did here. And I know I've mentioned it before, but it bears repeating. This apartment was stripped to the studs. All of the wires are new, the plumbing is new, the electrical panel is new, all of it. It's like a new apartment in a very old building. The biggest complaint I had after talking to people last week about this apartment was actually not about the apartment at all. It was about the Christmas carpet in the hallway. And I'm of two minds about it. yes, it does look like Christmas, and it would probably be preferable to have something a little less busy. However, it's extremely high quality and has not shown anywhere in the over 10 years I've been involved with this building. This is a maple, 3-inch maple mantle, maple mantle. And so now I'm going to throw it open to questions one more time and just see if anybody has anything they'd like to know before I sign off. Anything you'd like to see that I haven't shown? No? All right, well, I am going to probably wrap it up then and let you know that there are 2 banks in Vancouver that, here was another thing. People were telling me, Reed, don't eat that sushi. It's been out there for a week. But that's just staging. There are 2 banks that I'm aware of that do mortgages on co-ops. One of them is Van City Credit Union, and the other one is Canada Western Bank. Oh, someone's saying I covered all the ground. Yes, except outside of the unit. And so please, if you want to see the boiler room, the garden in the back that's for the use of the owners, the access, where the access to the bike room is, all of those things are on another open house video on my page, Facebook, Reed Hortie Real Estate. And you can also, in the comments of this event, you'll find a link to the Matterport tour. Oh, this is something I did want to mention. Some people have never done a Matterport tour. So if you go into the comments of this event, you'll find a link. If you click it, it goes to Pixie Links, where the Matterport tour is hosted, and then you click on the arrow in the middle of the picture, and that will start the Matterport tour. And the way that that works is, it will open up on this room, say, and there will be little white circles on the floor. And you take your cursor and click on those circles, and it will move you through the apartment. You click on a circle to the left, you go to the left. You click on a circle in the hallway, you go down the hall to that room. So it's very easy to navigate, and you can linger and look around and see the whole place until your heart's content. If you see it and you like it and you want to see more in person, just call me. My contact information is everywhere, and I will be more than happy to set up an appointment for you using, of course, all of the COVID protocols that we are also familiar with now. And that leaves nothing left to say except thank you for attending. I really hope you'll come and see it, and I hope you'll consider co-op. It's, again, I know I say it a lot, but it is the best value in Vancouver real estate. And that's saying something. Thanks again for attending. Have a great afternoon. Bye.